What's up, family? Welcome to Ask My Odds.
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
You think I'm so full of it, but I think I'm just fed up, baby. You think I can be so arrogant, but I'm just trying to keep my head
This is
up.
my sweet
baby.
wife, Fiona.
And this is my handsome, debonair, smooth
Wow.
husband,
I'll take
Ayiza. You'll take that, baby? Welcome, y'all. Welcome to Ask the Ma'ats. What do we do? Who are we? We are the Ma'ats. Yes, we're married. We answer your questions. We give our advice. We definitely give our opinions. And we always keep it 100%
Real.
real.
All right, y'all. Today we're going to be talking about communication. Sometimes in relationships, we enter into these difficult spaces where we have something that we want to share. And the thing that we want to share might be something that's going to cause some tension in a relationship. So it might be a serious topic that you want to put on the table. And because it's so serious, you don't know how to convey it to your spouse.
And it may be something that you all have had going on and talking about for a long, long time. It just never gets resolved. It creates, tight faces as soon as you mention it. One of them type topics.
Yeah, and the reason today what we want to do is we want to give you an alternative way to approach the conversation. Because far too often when we enter into these conversations, because it's something that's weighing heavily on our spirits, we might come at it with an attitude. We might come at it with, a high tone, a high-pitched tone. We might come at it kind of disgruntled and disheveled. And that energy right there is something that's being passed on to your spouse. And so don't be surprised if you're coming at them that way and they're dismissive. They don't want to hear it. They have an attitude. So in this post right here, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about some alternative ways to enter into conversation when there's some really difficult things that you want to share.
And we're going to get into two ways. Number one is this.
Number one, it's a more abstract way, but I think that it's an excellent way to at least open the doorway to the conversation. What you can do is sit down, get a crayon box, something as simple as a crayon box, and ask your spouse to pick the color that they feel. Whatever it is that they feel in that particular moment, whatever emotional space they're in, they need to pick a color to resemble that feeling. And you do the same. You pick the color as well. So if, for instance, you're the color red and your husband is the color yellow, what that right there is going to do is, again, it's challenging you to enter into the conversation from a space where you're seeking to understand versus to be understood. So you ask yourself and you ask your spouse, why did they pick the color that they picked, and why did I pick the color that I picked? And your spouse, it's his responsibility to ask the question of you as well. And what that'll do is that'll challenge you both to think from the other person's perspective before you begin to enter into conversation about why you chose what you chose and why you feel what you feel. So it's just another way to open up the doorway.
So yeah, it's really putting you in more of an abstract space. If you're anything like me, I'm the type of person that resists these kind of activities. I'm like, ain't nobody trying to do all of that. Just tell me what you feel, right? But every time I have engaged in them, whether we've been participating in a workshop that someone else is doing, or my husband has said, come on, babe, let's do this, I've always benefited. Because it puts you in a place, like my husband said, where you have to seek first to understand, and I have to see why is it that he picked that color. What does that color mean for him? Where is that coming from? And then he can share with me where it's really coming from, and we can kind of meet each other in a better place. Number two, there is a famous medical pain scale that's used for all the nurses and doctors out there, that's used in the medical profession, and it's the Wong-Baker medical pain scale. And my husband and I first became familiar with it because our oldest son has sickle cell anemia. And so for those of you who don't know much about sickle cell, or maybe just know a little bit, most folks who do know a little bit know that sickle cell, the biggest characteristic is pain. That's one of the most common things that we're always trying to manage. It's pain crisis. They call them pain crisis. I don't like the word crisis. Everything that's painful don't got to be a crisis. But it's pain. So one of the things that they do in the hospital, they hold up this pain scale, and there's these little faces, and you'll see it on the post today. That's one of the things that we're using, and you can find it online. Type in Wong-Baker medical pain scale, and there's a happy face that says no hurt. The next one hurts a little bit and they're kind of happy. The next one starting to hurt a little more and the face is kind of, even. Then it hurts even more, hurts a whole lot, hurts 10, and it goes up through 10, 1 through 10 on this pain scale. And when you can use this kind of a scale in your relationship, meaning that you all know you got something that you got to talk about, this thing is serious, and you just take out the pain scale. to be able to communicate your level of pain to your spouse. Oftentimes, when you do that first, you clue your spouse into the fact that you thought I was at a 2, but bruh, no, I'm at a 7. You thought I was really at an 8. No, really, I'm at a 4. And so now you all get a better sense of where the other person is in terms of the pain and the hurt and the turmoil that they're experiencing over this issue. And that's really important because, again, it can help you to open up the conversation differently. Both of these activities are about opening up the conversation differently and not going down the same old road that gets you nowhere.
Yeah, because words ain't always enough. So using these activities such as the pain scale, such as the color chart, such as music, such as...
Music is good. Putting on a song to demonstrate this is how I feel about a certain thing. This is where I'm at right now.
You could also even use scents. You could use taste. It's so many different things that you can use.
You're getting real abstract now, y'all.
But it's so many different
It is
things
good,
that you
but
can
it's...
use to actually enter into a conversation to better express and explain how it is that you feel at that moment and how you feel about this topic.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we hope that this has helped you to, put some more stuff in your toolbox. And hopefully you won't be getting all this stuff and putting it in your toolbox, but you never open it up. You never endeavor to do something different. These things are easy to do, but they are difficult to do. How about that? Meaning that they're not hard to do to get a daggone crayon box or to take out go on the internet and type up Wong Baker medical pain scale and print it out and then say, where do you feel? What do you feel? But it's different. And it's maybe frustrating. You just want to get into it. You just want to express yourself. Well, if you do something different, guaranteed you will get different results. So we hope that you will enter the conversation differently, that you will open it up differently, and that you never stop playing. Keep on pushing.
I think it ain't healthy for me to judge you by your flaws, and that's why I know I could criticize, but I put that aside